The situation in Gaza over the last number of days is one of growing misery and pressure, and I might say some more insecurity. The bottom line is that we have still the thousands of tons of aid that was generously donated very quickly, I might add, stuck outside Gaza. It's in Egypt, it's in Ashdod port in Israel, and it's in Jordan. And we're trying to get these thousands of tons through what is effectively the eye of a needle down there at Kerem Shalom. It's the only crossing point that's open for those supplies, be they food, medicine, or the other non-food items.
We have lost you there, John. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, you're back. You're back.
Are you okay?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So the bottom line is that we're neither getting in the volume nor the range of supplies that we need here, and this is of course creating a lot of misery among the people, because it's now coming up on 3 weeks since the ceasefires were declared, and so many of them still have not received handouts of food or other basic supplies such as mattresses and blankets and clothes. I mean, so many thousands here are without those very basics. For us here at UNRWA, for example, we have 900,000 people that are food aid dependent, and we're getting it out at the rate of about 30,000 per day. That just gives you a sense of how long a wait it will be for those who are at the end of the queue. And we have the infrastructure, we have the staff, but we don't have the food. And it's the same across the range of all the other supplies. It's quite shameful that there is such a backlog, and but it's perfectly understandable, because the crossing point at Kerem Shalom is totally and wholly inadequate when it comes to the volumes that we actually need here at the moment. Also, the range of goods, I worked, and all of my staff here worked very hard to get our children back in school. A couple of days after the end of the conflict, we moved 50,000 people out of those schools so that they would be available for the education system or purpose for which they are supposed to be used. And we cleaned them up. We couldn't repair them because we'd have no materials to repair them, but we made them safe, and we got the kids back in within a week. But since then, they've been sitting there, 60% of them, without their textbooks, their workbooks. And we have not been able to bring in the notebooks, the supplies, the stationery for them. These items, paper basically, are denied entry into Gaza at the moment. This weekend, on Sunday, we will run out of the plastic bags that we need to distribute the food to those 900,000 refugees that we're seeking to feed at the moment. And again, the plastic pellets, the raw material to make the plastic bags, has been denied entry. This is not the first time that this material has been delayed, and it's sadly every time since June 2007 that the textbooks, the paper for the textbooks and other stationery has been delayed. Inevitably, we expect to get it in, but that's not the point. The point is that the kids are in the schools for the past 2 weeks without their textbooks, and we're being obstructed, as far as I'm concerned, in the education of the children here. We had staff working through the conflict in the development of our new human rights program. They were working in their homes while shelling was going on in all around them. They came back to work at the end of the conflict very proud of the fact that we had not lost the momentum in terms of the preparation of this curriculum, and we sent it off to the printers to get printed, only to find that we're still waiting, because they don't have the paper, and we're not able to get the paper in to print our human rights curriculum. I mean, these are the sort of operational issues that give you a sense of how difficult, impossible it's being made for us here at all levels, both to meet the immediate desperate humanitarian needs in terms of food, medicine, and other clothing and other essential supplies for those that have lost everything and are quite destitute, shelter, tents, and so on. And then on our other operations, which are equally important, I might add, the education of the children, this is all being held up as well. And again, there is no excuse for this. It's political decisions in terms of the amount that's being allowed in and the scope of the materials that are let in. That, as you might imagine, is feeding into big frustration on the ground. The day before yesterday, we had some of our aid, 3,500 blankets and 406 food parcels, stolen by the police here, the Hamas police force, and you know, it came at gunpoint and took it out of a place where it was being stored for distribution in one of the areas of Gaza City. You know, it's the first time, of course, that aid has been taken from us, or that our operations have been interfered with, but we have to ensure that it's the last time. This is, of course, quite a challenge, because the situation here is quite unstable. Much of the Hamas leadership are still underground, and those that are above the ground seem bent on acting in a reckless manner. So we have, of course, demanded that the aid be returned, and that the senior leadership make it very clear to the lower levels that this is not acceptable, because it's most definitely not acceptable to us. We're not bringing aid into Gaza to have it stolen by anybody. We're bringing it in to give it to the refugees according to our criteria and our lists. So again, that's another challenge that we're facing here at the moment, and of course, you know, reflective of the pressures that everybody is feeling here on the ground because of the shortages of everything right across the range. So I think, you know, my message today is let's not talk about recovery of Gaza or reconstruction of Gaza until we can get the very simple issue of access for vital humanitarian supplies, i.e. life-saving supplies, food, medicine and the other items, including to ensure that the education system here can function. There's an imperative to keep the education system in operation, and again, that's now being obstructed. So I would leave it at that, Michel, but be very happy to answer any questions.